one item, a presentation from the administration on utilities. Mr. Canella will give us. Our first item is to the folks from Dual Construction that are working on our Highway 28 West Sewer trunk main wish to appeal to us for an extension of time. We have several copies of letters and so forth back and forth from them, our previous city attorney and the engineers. If you gentlemen like to get up, you certainly can state your case.
Hi, I'm Nick Bass, owner of Dual Construction. I'd like to thank everybody for their time for listening to us today. As you know, we're here asking for this administration for a time extension. You've read our letters, and we have brought up several different reasons for asking for more time, but essentially it all started the first 3 or 4 months that we came to work here. I'd kind of like to go over those 3 or 4 months to kind of explain our side of the process. When we bid the job, we had bore logs, and it showed clay and water, and we had the equipment to dig deep enough and all the boxes and everything that we needed when we came in. But when we got here, the ground conditions were different than what we've been accustomed to in the past, and our equipment could not move the boxes. They could dig deep enough, but we just couldn't move it. And so we had a whole lot of problems at the very beginning, and so we had to go out and buy more equipment. And we spent $700,000 on 2 different tracos. One was in Tampa, Florida, that we bought, and one was in McAllen, Texas. And since the first 3 or 4 months, the project has moved on pretty well and is going on pretty well to date. But when we got here, we just did not realize how bad the ground was going to be, and so we ate up 3 or 4 months. And essentially, that's what we're asking for, is a little more time at the end of the project because of the unexpected conditions that we ran into. Another thing, also on this project to date, as the end of July, we've lost $120,000 on the project, and we're essentially losing $20,000 to $25,000 a month. We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay here and keep battling it out, but it's been a tough one. My understanding of liquidated damages is actual damages to the city. And this line that we're installing, it's not going to be put into use until the pump station, which bid out today, is built, which is, I've been told, was like 120 days out from now. And so the line's just going to be sitting there. And if we're charged liquidated damages, I understand we're at the mercy of you guys. But it's, to me, the line's, it's just going to be sitting there. Nothing's going to be going through it until the pump station's built. And we're just essentially asking for another 3 or 4 months to complete the project. If you hit us with liquidated damages, it's going to add, we're losing $20,000 to $25,000 a month right now. It's going to essentially double that. And, that's hard to take on our end. And, we hope we're going to get the job complete, but all this stuff just keeps adding up, stacking up on top of us, and, kicking the guy when he's down.
Well, we don't certainly want to kick anybody when they're down.
I understand.
We had a set of specifications that we went by when we bid this job, and there were other respondents to the bid, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
what
sir.
was the next closest bid? Do you remember?
Wicker Construction, and they were about 60.
They were about 62,000. Sorry.
Above them?
Yes, sir.
I read all the documentation that was presented to us, both letters from our previous city attorney, Mr. Sanders. Well, it wasn't from him, it was from Laura Sylvester, actually, and then other letters that were for y'all, from you, and personally, and I think another gentleman with your firm, Mr. Crack.
Yes, sir.
And then also the responses by Meyer, LaCroix, and Hickson. Do you have anything else you would like to present?
No, sir. Essentially, we thought we knew what was going on when we bid the project. This grant, I've been doing this for 25 years, and this job is by far the toughest we've ever run into. We've got a good record. I mean, you know, it's just, this has been a very tough project, and the ground conditions here, you know, the bore log showed the conditions, but you just really have no idea what's there. I don't think even the city really knew that it was this bad. I know that we've had to rebid this pump station a couple of times because people are scared of the ground at our expense. Now they know what's down there, and so, and then, you know, and that's just hearsay on my part, but it's just been a very tough job, and we're still going at it. But I mean, we had to go at this equipment that we bought. I won't use it on another job. I'll go sell it. We had a trench box. I don't know if you know what that is, but it has 8-inch walls. The ground crushed the trench box that we had down there, and we had to go out and buy a $30,000 new one that when I get through, I mean, nobody wants to buy it. You know, I might get half price for it. And so all I'm wanting to say is we're here, we're trying, the line is not going to be used during this time that we're asking for an extension. You know, the city's not really, you're going to be out something, I guess, but you know, the line, with it not being in use, I don't see, I understand the contract days, but we're already losing money on the project, and it's kind of like piling on from our point. And I understand your point.
Well, we're certainly not piling on, but we have expenses that go on at the same time your expenses go on.
I understand that.
What is the penalty per day?
It's $750 a day,
And what is it costing us for inspections? Same thing.
about $705 a day.
So one offsets the other. So
Yeah, that would be our expense and the additional time it would take to complete the project.
okay.
Even though the line would be in service, he's correct. There's no loss of usage in completion of the project, but our expense would be the additional engineering oversight involved in inspecting that project and ensuring that it's in compliance with the plans and specifications.
Do you have any
A day?
recommendations on it?
You say a day?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
mean to tell me
it's
they gotta go out there
collect-
every day and
It's
inspect?
collective, but we have engineering inspection with the complexity of this project and the depth and making sure that it's installed correctly. We have full-time inspection on this project. It's imperative.
But you
especially
have
with
one
some-
inspector out there, right?
Yeah, but we also have engineering oversight as well.
Right. Well, I mean, the inspector, I wouldn't mind paying. You know, the $700 a day. I haven't seen a breakdown of that, and I'm not.
I have it in my office.
Right.
'Cause I
Okay.
asked for it specifically.
But I mean, as far as paying for the inspector, we would be glad to. We're just trying to ease the pain here. Is all we're asking for.
It sounds like one almost offsets the other. Let me do this. But I know a little bit about the project, but I don't know the inner workings of it. Let me lateral it to the administration. Y'all look at it, make a recommendation, and then we'll go from there. And we take everything under advisement of the engineer inspection from Meyer and y'all's recommendation.
We'll respond to Mr. Bassett writing,
Okay.
if that's the.
Thank you, Mr. Bass. Anything else y'all want
That's
to
it.
add?
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you for your report. Mr. Canella has asked for some additional time today. He had, I'm not exactly sure what his presentation is. I think it has something to do with the methodology to help folks at home save money on their utilities.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Marcus, this has nothing to do with mine.
It works there too.
Get somebody in trouble. Thing is tight at the city, but we can get a better looking cart to make it. Spray paint. Not that close, Aaron.
Doesn't show up that well. There we
That a
go.
little better?
That's a little better.
August is our, of course, our customers' highest consumption month. And with the extreme high temperatures that we are experiencing this year, we thought it would be good to go over some energy saving tips. Some energy saving tips for our customers. First off, I want to go over energy consumption, and hopefully no one has their heating systems on today, but as an overall concept, 53% of homes use natural gas for a heating system, and 29% of homes use electricity for heating in the wintertime. And overall electrical usage, appliances and lighting account for 34% of usage. Water heating accounts for about 13% of your energy consumption. And typically, 45% of an electric bill goes towards heating and cooling a home. So that's where all the energy consumption goes. Heating and cooling, energy-free or low-cost saving tips. Unplug electronics, battery chargers, and other equipment when not in use. 5-degree higher setting on your air conditioning thermostat will save about 2% on cooling costs. Reduce air conditioning costs by using fans, keeping windows and doors shut, and closing shades during the day. Turn off unnecessary lighting. Run your dishwasher and clothes washer only when fully loaded. Make sure your dryer's outside vent is clear, and clean the lint filter after every load. Seal air leaks around windows, doors, electrical boxes, plumbing fixtures, electrical outlets, ceiling fixtures, attic hatches, and other locations where there is a possible air path to the outside. Set your thermostat as low as comfortable in the winter and as high as comfortable in the summer. Clean or replace filters on furnaces once a month or as needed. Insulate your water heater to save energy and money. Water heating is the third largest energy expense in the home. When placing these insulation devices, use the manufacturer's recommendations, and when in doubt, get professional help. Repair leaky faucets and running toilets promptly. A leaky faucet wastes gallons of water in a short period of time. Lower the thermostat on your water heater. Water heaters sometimes come from the factory with a high temperature setting, but a setting of 120 degrees Fahrenheit provides comfortable hot water for most uses. Take more showers and baths. Bathing uses the most hot water in an average household. Insulate about 6 feet of the hot and cold water pipe connected to the water heater. And if you're in the market for a new appliance, consider buying an efficient Energy Star model to reduce energy use. I've read some reports that a refrigerator that's 10 years or older now uses about 3 times the energy consumption of a new refrigerator with an Energy Star rating. Drain a quart of water from your heater tank every 3 months to remove sediments that impede heat transfer and lowers the efficiency of your heater. The type of water tank you have determines the steps to take, so follow manufacturer recommendations. Now, this is one of the most important parts of energy savings. Check your home's insulation is one of the fastest and most cost-efficient ways to use a whole house approach to reduce energy waste and make the most of your energy dollars. Good insulating systems includes a combination of products and construction techniques that protect the home from outside temperatures and protect it against air leaks and controls moisture. You can reduce your heating and cooling bill by up to 10% by investing in proper insulation and sealing air leaks. And these charts up here show about where the percentage of air leaks are. Of course, 31% floors and walls and ceilings, 15% with ducts, 10% on windows. Another question is, should I insulate my home? The answer is probably yes. If you have a home and haven't added insulation, only 20% of homes built before 1980 are well insulated. If you're uncomfortably cold in the winter or hot in the summer, Adding insulation creates a more uniform temperature and increases comfort. If you're building a new home addition or installing new siding or roofing, you're paying high utility energy bills. If you're bothered by noise from the outside, insulation muffles sound. Sealing air leaks. Air infiltrates into and out of your home through every hole, nook, and cranny. About 1/3 of this air infiltrates through openings in your ceiling, walls, and floors. Warm air leaking into your home during the summer and out of your home during the winter can waste a lot of your energy dollars. One of the quickest dollar-saving tasks you can do is caulk, seal, and weather strip all seams, cracks, and openings to the outside. First, test your home for air tightness. On a windy day, hold a lit incense stick next to your windows, doors, electrical boxes, plumbing fixtures, electrical outlets, ceilings, fixtures, attic hatches, and other locations where there is a possible air path to the outside. If the smoke stream travels horizontally, you have located an air leak that may need caulking, sealing, or weather stripping. Tips for sealing air leaks. Caulk and seal leaks where plumbing, ducting, and electrical wiring penetrates through exterior walls, floors, ceiling, and soffits over cabinets. Caulk and weather strip doors and windows that leak air. Install rubber gaskets between outlet and switch plates on exterior walls. Install storm windows over single pane windows or replace them with double pane windows. When the fireplace is not in use, keep the flue damper tightly closed. A chimney is designed specifically for smoke to escape, so until you close it, warm air or cool air escapes 24 hours a day. For new construction, reduce exterior wall leaks by either installing house wrap, taping the joints of exterior sheathing, or comprehensively caulking and sealing the exterior walls. This is a question we get asked a lot. I went on vacation, I was gone for a week or 2 weeks, and my bill's still high. So this slide shows where is the energy going. On heating and cooling, if you do not turn it off, if you do not turn your thermostat off, heating and cooling units may be activated to control the temperature in the home at the thermostat setting. On refrigerators, a refrigerator will work harder than normal in a warm environment. If a refrigerator is nearly empty, it will work even harder to maintain a cool interior temperature. So if you leave on vacation and you turn your thermostat off and the interior of your home gets hot, well, your refrigerator is going to work even harder to keep the contents inside cool. The hot water tank and pipes have some heat loss. Unless the electricity or natural gas to the hot water tank is turned off, the water tank is still drawing energy to keep the water hot. Lighting for security purposes contributes to energy consumption. On electronic devices, TVs and any device with a remote control or an electronic clock recharger, and devices with a small black transformer box will draw power whenever plugged in. So-called interrupter outlets used in most bathrooms draw some power. All these costs add up. For example, a customer will save a small amount of energy consumption on things turned on only when they are home, such as stoves and lighting. However, any savings could be negated by seemingly small actions such as bringing home extra loads of laundry from vacation. If a consumer's meter is read while they are away, any energy savings may be split between 2 billing periods, making the savings more difficult to notice. The city, what is the city doing? The city has a weatherization program. Existing homes that have been upgraded by the weatherization program have seen an average of 30% reduction in energy consumption. 48 homes are scheduled to receive weatherization upgrades this fiscal year. The average cost is $4,200 per home for weatherization upgrades, and upgrades include storm windows, storm doors, caulking, and attic insulation. And that's blown-in insulation, so it's not very difficult to put in the attic. For additional information on weatherization program, you can contact Brenda Ray at 449-5073.
Is that homeowners only?
Homeowners only,
Okay.
and there are certain criteria to meet those. For additional information on energy saving tips, you can go to energysavers.gov energyhog.org or energyideas.org. And this is where most of the presentation comes from. We all know that it's in the 100 degrees right now, and I wanted to just show a slide from the National Institute on Aging. Older people are at high risk for developing heat-related illnesses because the ability to respond to summer heat is less efficient with advanced aging. Heat stroke is especially dangerous for older people and requires emergency medical attention. A person with heat stroke has a body temperature above 104 degrees and may have symptoms such as confusion, combativeness, bizarre behavior, faintness, staggering,
I
strong
think Harry
rapid
has
pulse,
it.
It's out of those old fashions.
dry, flushed skin, lack of sweating, and/or possible delirium or coma. Lifestyle factors can also increase risk, including extremely hot living quarters, lack of transportation, overdressing, visiting overcrowded places, and the lack of understanding concerning weather conditions. Older people, particularly those at special risk, should stay indoors on especially hot and/or humid days. People without fans or air conditioning should go to shopping malls, theaters, and libraries. Friends and relatives should consider supplying transportation on particularly hot days. Many communities, area agencies, religious groups, and senior citizens centers also provide such services. For additional information on hot weather advice for older people, you can visit the following address, and I'm not going to say all those letters. And now, if y'all have any questions, I'll take those at this time.
Marcus, is there any way you can prepare this where it can be shown on Channel 4?
Sure.
Okay.
Why don't you just, why don't they get the print shot and make something in the utility office, where people can take it and they'll know what to look for.
Do that too.
I was telling Marcus, I think we have one in place, but our Public Service Commission, rule sponsored by Commissioner Foster Campbell in February, is benefiting the citizens of Louisiana. Campbell rule prevent electric utilities from cutting off power to customers when the heat index is 105 degrees or hotter, and in the wintertime it's 32 degrees. But I think we said we have one in,
I talked to David Crutchfield. I think ours is 99 degrees and above, and I don't think we cut off anyone if the temperature is below 32 degrees in the wintertime.
I brought this because they want that. This was done in February. We want to make sure that we follow it because we don't want to get
And I would hope that anyone who has access to the internet can go to the website. This is just a few of the recommendations for energy savings. There's quite a few more, but consumption is going to be very high this month, and whatever our customers can do as far as insulation and sealing air leaks and keeping those the air inside the house and the actual insulating and making a more even temperature in the house, the better off they're going to be as far as saving those energy dollars and keeping their homes cool.
You just kind of made my point. I think this is probably going to be the most difficult time that our customers will experience thus far this year. Which brings me to our point. I think we appropriated some monies to go, where's Mr. Crutchfield? To the Shepherd Center to help with the indigent. And if they ever needed the help, I think they need it right now. And certainly in the next month or so, in which they're going to experience the bill that they're incurring right now. I would like to see us go ahead and appropriate that money. I don't know whether we need a motion or not, but school has just started again. People are having to provide school clothing and various other supplies. I just think now is an appropriate time, and I want to see if that was a pulse of the body. I was talking about the appropriation of the money. I know we split it to the Shepherd Center, but seeing the high temperatures that we're experiencing right now, I think that the poor people, based on what I'm hearing from those at the customer service office, and certainly those that call in my office, is that they need some help. And I've talked to Ms. Seastrunk at the Shepherd Center as well. They're out of money. and people need help, and we have some money. So I think we need to afford the opportunity for those that are truly suffering from these high prices to take advantage of it. I want to know what you needed from this body to go ahead and issue that additional 100,000.
Well, it's already been budgeted in the budget that the council approved, and the only reason that we had split the appropriation was that I'm sure that we'll have some need, or the community and the customers, ratepayers will have the need for some assistance in the winter. So the problem would be if we sent the rest of the appropriation now and the winter time rolled around, there would be no funds available, or no appropriated funds available at that time, and that would require additional action. So
I
at this
think we can
point,
address that at MDA. I just think that there's really a sense of urgency to take care of a lot of people. I mean, I'm passing certain neighborhoods, and I see the windows up and no lights on in the middle of the evening. So there are problems. And I'm hearing it's not just poor people, it's hitting middle-income people as well. But if
I
we
agree,
have
it's
it, I
hitting
just think we
everyone.
need to go ahead and give it to the Shepherd Center. And if we're able to do something at the budget amendment time, then I think we need to go ahead and address the winter during that time.
yeah, and that's there's really, this body doesn't need to do anything else besides maybe communicate with the mayor
It's
and
been appropriated,
express that.
so we just gotta
Right,
do
it's
it.
been appropriated. We just need
Direction.
direction to go ahead and
And
send
I'm
it.
asking for feedback, as I'm asking
No
from
problem.
administration and the council.
I think that's something we need to go ahead and do with the report that was just given, based on a recommendation from the council to the administration.
Well, I'd like to offer informal. I don't think we need a resolution per se. I mean, I think we just need to do
General
it.
feeling is go ahead and do it, so.
Yeah.
Probably just some
It's already appropriated,
communication
it
to the
doesn't take
mayor,
any
I would say, a letter from the
Mr.
committee.
Mayor, you have any concern in doing that this time?
I wasn't present for what you were talking about. I'm assuming you're talking about exhausting the funds for the Shepherd Center at this point?
Yeah, they're actually exhausted. Appropriating the funds that weren't appropriated during budget time. I'm talking about.
We only,
Well, Mayor, I think we appropriated 200,000.
Right.
And we've already remitted 100,000 to the Shepherd Center. That's more than the $200,000 appropriation is more than we've spent at any time. But we've already sent half. We had agreed to send the other half in the winter, and the discussion was whether or not to go ahead and remit the remaining 100 and possibly appropriate some additional funds later.
I would suggest that we have a member of the council at your choosing, a member of the administration, and the director of the Shepherd Center sit down and discuss I would really like to know what Janice thinks, Ms. Seastrunk, about the needs and how this comes down, because she deals with it on a daily basis. I'd hate to be in the winter and need help and us be in an even worse position. I know people are suffering now, but it is $200,000. I certainly would like to hear her weigh in on her thoughts about it. I believe she has some specific thoughts, and she would be in the best position to advise us. But it's your
chairman of
it's your
finance
preference.
or chairman of utilities, either one, and then whoever you want's fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. You can do it tomorrow.
Well, I just know the need is there and we have the money. I mean, we can talk about it, and I understand what you're saying, but I do believe that once the winter rolls around, we're gonna be able to appropriate another 100,000 if it comes to that. I'm not talking about doing
There's
anything.
no limitations on the appropriations, and the body should do what it wants. If there are,
But
I want to listen to her.
when we appropriated the money, we didn't say appropriate some in the summer and some in the winter neither. I think we said appropriate 200,000.
That's correct. This
Lewis and then
appropriation was
Roosevelt.
for 200,000.
But my take on it, and to me, the bottom line is, we have people that you can die of a heat stroke as well as you can freeze to death. And I wouldn't want to see someone sleeping in a house, and we've been talking about these 100+ degree days, and trying to keep the utility bills down and suffer. And then they have to do without maybe medication because they got to come and pay the utility bill. I'd rather help them out on both ends. And if we have to contribute more money, well, we put a little bit more money on the side for that, but let's help the people that we're supposed to serve.
I just don't want to turn this into something political as if the administration isn't wanting to address it. We have to operate within the budgetary constraints of this council. In doing so, we plan out. If the council's saying it's unlimited money, we'll be glad to
But that's, I think
do
that's what Mr. Lawson is saying, we go ahead and appropriate the 100,000 that's left in there now. And if we have to come back to make the budget, we do what we have to do at that time,
If we can do it.
if we can do it.
Yeah.
But right now, we got people suffering.
We may be suffering this
Just
winter
a second,
too, but,
Roosevelt,
oh, I'm sorry.
then Charles Reddick, then Harry. Go ahead.
Whatever we decide to do, I think it needs to be expedient. Listening at Mr. Canello's report, again, I want to restate what Mr. Marshall said. I have a grave concern of the 105 and 106 degree temperatures based on the heat index. And just like you said in that report, people could be dying, senior citizens. Everyone's home is not built the same. You know, looking at where they live across the city, even for some of the businesses. So we have to be mindful of the winter, the hot months as well as we do during the cold months, because the way it's looking right now, it's going to be some serious problems over the next few weeks, and it could be a state of emergency, not only just in our city, but other places across the region. But we have to do something as soon as possible.
Charles?
Dayton, we talked upstairs. Yeah, I think one thing, we follow procedure, that we're not gonna cut anybody off when it gets over 99 degrees.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And I think if we follow that policy, when I was telling you about Foster County, was saying that 104 degrees, it was passed by the Public Service Commission, and no less than, I think we have. But if we need to watch that we don't, get in trouble. I mean, I think that would help out a lot. Since these temperatures are running 100 and something, if we watch our policy and not cut these people off, it would help. And it also would give them a time to catch up on their bills.
Right, we don't discontinue electric service when the temperature's over 99 degrees.
I think that part of it's correct, that legislative amount, but I do think that in order to know more certain what we're doing, I think the person in charge of the sea stuff and the administration and two here should meet together and let's find out where we're going, because we might as well project the year and see what happens, then we can speak more intelligently too. And then we're gonna face it, address it, and resolve it.
Yeah, I have a couple of simple things. One, I'm sure that in your presentation, Marcus, you didn't suggest that anybody disconnect their ground fault.
No, not at all.
Even though they do burn a little bit of electricity, do not do that. That's number one. In your estimation and recapturing the cost of installation of installation of insulation, it's hard to say for me. How long does it take to recapture the $4,200 at the 30% savings?
I don't have those numbers. Brenda Ray does, but I can tell you the 30% is an average. They've also seen energy consumption savings up to 42% on some homes.
Okay.
And they've done it 1 year, and then they take the last 3 years usage, and they've saved between 30 and 42% on some homes. That's a lot, guys.
So Mr. Gino is suggesting it takes 5 years.
On average, 5 years.
So you save about $1,000 a year, roughly. The other, one simple solution, not a solution, it's certainly not a solution, but one thing that I think would help, since we think that this is gonna be a critical time in usage, and it's gonna be a very high usage, instead of us reading the meters every 33 or 36 days or whatever it is, during this period of time, could we lessen the length of time that between when we're reading as much as we can rather than extending them? I know that's
a
temporary.
Solution to a permanent problem.
Mr. Fowler, that's a function of the available personnel and the number of meters, and
Well, I remember when we had a real problem and we didn't have enough meter readers and we asked folks to come from different areas. Knowing that this would be a substantial, not a savings, but just be a reading that would be a bit shorter. Could we do that and then maybe lengthen it one of the softer months later on in the year?
we're on schedule right now
I
for the
understand.
regular 30-day.
But if we could make it
Reading.
28, that's a 10% savings right there, or apparent savings that we could do it, and then add 2 days later on. or 3 days?
I don't know if we can, you
If
know,
we're-
with the fluctuation in personnel and weather and things like that, I don't know if we can,
Well, we're operating.
blanket say
we're
that we'll give
operating on
people a
Nike
28.
theory up here, just do it. If you can.
we'll try to do that.
I don't want us to gloss over my suggestion,
We're not glossing over any suggestion.
but I want to have an understanding that we're going to consider appropriating the money that we decided in the budget that we're going to pass to the Shepherd Center. And I don't want to discount the suggestion of the mayor, because we have to be mindful that there's going to be an end to the money. But I do think that we ought to check the pulse. And I have spoken with Ms. Seastrong, and she said the money's out, because I tried to help someone
It
which
is
I
definitely
represent.
out.
And it's been out.
It's been out for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah, right. So I think we need to file a balance. I just want to hear that we need to do something without coming back to this council to assist. And if it's 50, it's 50. And maybe we put 50 for the winter. But I just think there's a sense of urgency.
Myron, because
Okay.
truthfully, she knows when the biggest needs are. She maps all that stuff out. So I thought if we had a member, we don't have to come back to council.
Okay.
We have a little ad hoc committee, we just decided
Yep.
next week.
It won't be an ad hoc committee.
I'd like to say something briefly, Mr.
One member of the
Lawson.
council, one member of the administration, and Ms. Seastrong.
The fact is that we appropriated the money at the beginning of summer, and it was all exhausted before it got hot. So my point is that people don't just come to get those funds when the temperatures are extreme. So maybe visiting with Ms. Seastrunk would allow us to look at how we do that, and maybe there'd be some criteria on shortening the time period. It's not available all the time. In a reasonable, normal month,
And
it's
I
not
asked,
available.
a year or so ago when we did this initially, to see if we can find someone to help leverage this. And,
I mean, maybe we only administer it when the temperature's over 100 degrees, or
and she ought to find that happy medium where the bills are high, where such a school time is out, or either Christmas time in the winter is merging together with the bills. But whatever it is, I agree, Ms. Seastrong and Ms. Jackson certainly will be in the administration a little bit more knowledgeable than we are. But I don't want this meeting to end without us saying at least we're going to look at trying to do something. And that's right here we're going to do so.
Yes, sir.
I think everybody agrees. Mark?
One thing I wanted to reiterate is that I would ask for neighbors, family members to check on the elderly at this time, because it is hot. We're in an extreme heat wave, and we need help from the community to check on our elderly and make sure that their needs are being met. So that's
You
one of the,
start with me right now, let's get going.
I'm done, Mr. Silver.
Is there any other business or anybody have any questions concerning utility? We're adjourned.
We're gonna continue right now, go right into the Public Works Committee. Do I come to the front? Mr. Branch, you want to start with the first item?
Yes, sir. Item number one, I'm not sure, I believe one of the councilmen may have some questions about that Eagle Drive subdivision and the sewer easement that we're also requesting to adopt and to be able to serve it. Is there any questions y'all would have concerning that?
These really should be tied together. Explain it real
Right.
briefly.
I already, it's in my district.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with it. All it is that to allow the new subdivision to come in and tie into the,
City sewer.
the city sewer and the housing authority allowing them to easily go across their property.
Right.
Anybody objection to
I'll
that?
move.
Second, all right, so ordered. Number two, you had
We have a
introduced.
update on fast track, and Mr. Duck is going to update that for you.
Did we handle both items, 35 and 36?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Item 36, that is
tied together.
They will probably take separate motions, separate. I'll make a motion for number
Second
two.
one,
second.
second,
Okay, both of them introduced.
okay,
Just take.
You ready?
please.
Gentlemen, I've got the latest revision of the Operation Fast Track report. Again, I'd like to remind you that the italicized print on each of the different items is the information that was included in this report, new to this report. I'd like to bring your attention to number 1, the Versailles Boulevard. All the parties have signed the right-of-way agreements for Phase 1 construction. So the deep sewer construction plans are ready for bidding. There are a few items left, such as a permit still required, and but Meyer is working on that, and they should be ready to go out for bids very shortly. The next one I'd like to bring your attention to is number 3, Sugar House Road, Phase 1. We held a meeting in our office with the State Highway Department. We have a new district administrator, and we had the opportunity to sit down with him and discuss this project. He was interested in what the status of the project is due to the fact that the state has seen fit to fund Sugar House Road project. And we had discussions with him about that, and we're going to get some additional information together and schedule another meeting shortly with him. Number 7 is another major project that's progressing nicely. We've decided to include the traffic signal near Walmart in this project. It was originally in the project, and then it had been taken out, and it was decided that we needed to move forward with that. And the plans, I spoke with the design engineer on it, and he said that they're moving well with it, and they got the electrical engineer doing some revisiting of the plans to be sure that all that will be in there. The next item that I'd like to bring your attention to is number 9, Lincoln Road reconstruction, 2-lane to Sugar House. It's moving good. The construction survey has been done. Preliminary plans have been submitted for review. So I'll be reviewing those shortly, and we'll get those back out so they can go ahead with the final plans. McAdams Ditch number 13. We've held the pre-construction conference, and the contractor has ordered the concrete box sections. You know, the first couple hundred feet or so will be boxed, and then the rest of the project will be a vertical line channel. It's necessary to order these boxes and put those in so he can work the project from MacArthur Drive into the ditch. So and he should be probably this month actually getting those boxes in there or started actual construction. Number 15, Culpeper Drainage, Llewellyn. I've reviewed the contracts and have gotten some minor changes, requests back to the engineer on that, and we should be finalizing those contracts so that design work can begin. Number 16, Hudson Boulevard Drainage. The construction survey has been completed, and the program completion phase has been submitted, reviewed, and approved, and back to the design consultant to prepare preliminary design. The next item I'd like to bring your attention to is number 21, Southern Heights subdivision, Phase 2. The design plans are being reviewed, or that was last time. Construction plans are finished and submitted for plan in hand review. So this is a project that will be coming to you to get authorization to go to bids shortly. Number 29 is McDonald Street Drainage Improvements Phase 3. As you may know, that well, Phase 2 is like 95% complete, or it may be complete today. So we've got Phase 3. We've got some federal funds associated with this project, but they were trying to get spent. So this project's being pushed pretty fast, and it's basically ready to also go to bids. Enterprise Road number 30. They've done the program completion phase, design survey, and the preliminary plans have been submitted for review. Number 33, I'd like to bring your attention to it. The contractor is here today. He flew in this morning to look over the site. I've talked to him, and I'll probably get with him some tomorrow and go over some other details. And he said that probably begin work on that later this month.
On the fence?
Yes, sir. And the only other one that I have marked to bring your attention to was number 41, the Horseshoe Drive Grove to MacArthur. Contracts are being reviewed on that, and we'll get the engineer started on that as soon as we can. I've got some other things that I didn't actually bring your attention to, but the things that are really moving fast, I wanted to highlight those. And as I mentioned earlier, the italicized information is new to this report. And as you read it in your leisure, if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll be glad to go over
In
it.
my opinion, are we that close to being on fast track, or are we still a little bit on the pokey side?
Well, I think we're moving about as fast as is realistic. Some of these projects are very comprehensive and extremely difficult, a lot of red tape, permits to get, we got to go through other government agencies we're not in control totally of the schedule. I mean, it's not necessarily something that our office is holding up, or the city's holding up, or the engineer's holding up. Somebody else that has to review something, and it's sitting on their desk, and it's hard to shake it loose. But overall, I think we've got several projects moving and doing real well.
Well, we won't have a report 2 weeks from today, but we will forward. I think it's more comprehensive this way, in a sense that we've accomplished more.
It's working out real well for us.
Did you have something you want to bring?
Yes, sir, I have a fact sheet that I would like to introduce, request introduction. Is to receive a grant from the Agriculture Department for our Urban Forestry Department. It will be to hire an intern for next summer, and also to provide continuing education for the urban forester.
I move. Second.
We're going to 10,000?
Yes, $10,000 grant.
That's what it is every year.
Yes.
1 year. All right, if you move second, any further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
So ordered. What else about that?
That's all I have.
You want to say anything about anything good?
Anything good? Well, we are making progress on the Coughlin Saunders building. We're over there daily, pulling down rows of bricks, repairing and replacing the flashing as needed. As the bricks have come down, they have, in fact, identified significant defects in the flashing. They're being repaired, and a lot of water droppings behind the brick, which stop up the sinkholes. Bo Neely is over there daily. As they pull down the bricks, he takes a look at it, and then he goes back before they reinstall the bricks to check the flashing to make sure that it's been repaired properly. And he said that when they take the rows of bricks down, that they've had mortar droppings as deep as this back there. So clearly there was a problem, and it's being corrected.
Where are we, since you're talking about the conference centers with the parking lot?
We are
Been hearing about that since I got on the council.
We're making progress on that too. I met with Mr. Jim Meyer. He's the comptroller at the Town Talk. I met with him on Friday. We discussed some terms for the contract. He gave me a number. We're going to make a counteroffer to that number as far as the consideration or the rent for that property. But we hope to be able to bring something to you by next council meeting.
I knew you'd been working, I get calls about that probably once every other week at least. I think it's good for folks
Upset
here.
about it?
All of them.
Incidentally, we let his son win that golf tournament. Notice the size of that picture because his father works at the Town Talk? That was his son, Meyer.
Actually, Chris works at the Town Talk too, the gentleman whose picture was on the paper.
I'm sure y'all are endearing them to him, talking about them like that.
They're great friends.
Price did not go down.
He's a great golfer, and he did a great job in that tournament, and we're proud of him.
Anything else? If not, we've got 15 minutes back on target. Stand adjourned.